The first bell had barely faded when the chaos of Eastwood High burst to life. Sneakers squeaked across the polished floor, lockers slammed in sharp metallic rhythm, and the buzz of voices filled the wide corridor like an electric hum. In the middle of that restless tide walked a girl no one recognized. Slim, quiet. Her dark hair tied in a loose braid that brushed against the back of her simple gray hoodie. She moved with the stillness of someone trying to be invisible, her eyes down, her steps light, almost measured. Her name was Maya Trent, a new transfer from another state. But to the kids of Eastwood, she was simply the new girl, another face in the crowd. Except in high school, a new face was never just a face. It was an invitation. An open target. Maya's first few minutes in the hallway were uneventful, until she turned the corner near the sophomore lockers, right where the notorious trio Sasha, Bree, and Lyle ruled their little kingdom. Sasha, tall with bleached hair and a smirk that could cut glass, was leaning against a locker with her phone in hand, recording a TikTok with Bree laughing behind her. Lyle, the kind of guy who thought his Letterman jacket made him untouchable, leaned close, pretending to be part of the fun while his eyes scanned the hall like a predator looking for prey. When Maya walked past, quiet and unassuming, it was like a ripple through their shallow pool of attention. "Hey, new girl." Sasha's voice cut through the air, sharp and mocking. "Nice hoodie. Did you borrow that from your grandpa?" Bree snorted, loud enough for the crowd nearby to hear. A few students turned their heads, eager for morning entertainment. High school had its own kind of cruelty. Silent until something happened worth watching. Maya didn't respond. She just adjusted the strap of her backpack and kept walking. Her silence, however, was gasoline to Sasha's fire. "Oh, she's too good to talk now?" Sasha stepped forward, blocking Maya's path. "Where you from, huh? Some farm school? We don't do shy here." A hush spread. Phones were out now, lenses raised like weapons. Maya stopped, her expression unreadable. Not scared, not angry, just still. "Excuse me," she said softly, trying to move past. But Lyle, eager to impress, stuck out his foot. The sound came fast, a sharp thud, then a gasp. Maya's backpack hit the floor first, papers scattering like white birds across the tiles. She stumbled forward, catching herself on her hands, the sting of cold linoleum biting her palms. Laughter broke out, raw, cruel, echoing down the hall. Sasha's voice rose above it all, dripping with satisfaction. "Oh no! Did the new girl fall down? Someone should help her. Maybe she doesn't know how to walk yet." Maya's hair fell over her face, hiding her eyes. For a heartbeat, she didn't move. Around her, sneakers shuffled as people circled in, phones recording. The smell of cheap perfume, energy drinks, and floor polish hung thick in the air. To anyone watching, it was just another hallway humiliation. Another clip for social media, another joke to laugh at over lunch. But beneath that curtain of hair, Maya's jaw tightened. She exhaled slowly. Once. Twice. When she looked up, something in her eyes had changed. Gone was the quiet, nervous new girl. In her place was a steady, piercing calm, the kind of calm that comes right before a storm. Her voice, when she spoke, was low, controlled, and carried an edge of steel. "Pick up my bag." The hallway went still. Sasha blinked, then snorted. "Excuse me." "I said pick up my bag," Maya repeated. Her tone didn't rise, but something in it, that still, dangerous confidence, made a few kids lower their phones. Lyle chuckled uncertainly. "Or what?" he said, grinning. And then, in one smooth motion, Maya stood. No one saw the subtle shift in her stance, the quiet balance in her feet, the way her shoulders squared without tension. But years of state-level karate training had carved her reflexes into instinct. The bullies didn't know that the quiet girl in the gray hoodie was a 3-time regional champion. They didn't know she had spent summers training under her late father. A man who believed calm was stronger than chaos, precision sharper than anger. They would find out soon enough. As the crowd closed in, the air thickened with anticipation. Maya's fingers brushed the strap of her fallen bag, and she stepped closer. Slow, deliberate. The bullies grinned, thinking they still had the upper hand. None of them realized the tide was already turning. In that frozen moment, Eastwood High's hallway was no longer just a school corridor. It was a crime scene in waiting. Not of violence, but of humiliation reversed. Because the new girl who'd just been knocked down was about to stand up. And when she did, no one, not even the bullies, would ever forget it. The laughter that had filled the hallway moments earlier began to falter, crumbling into uneasy murmurs. Something about the way Maya stood, perfectly still, perfectly balanced, didn't fit the image of a scared, embarrassed new girl. Her shoulders were relaxed, her posture poised, her eyes locked on Sasha with a quiet intensity that could freeze fire. Even Sasha, who'd built her reputation on feeding off fear, felt a flicker of something foreign crawl under her skin. Doubt. Maya tilted her head slightly, her voice calm but firm. "You tripped me," she said, not as a question but as a statement of fact. "Now pick up my bag." Sasha let out a nervous laugh, glancing at her friends for backup. Bree giggled too, though it sounded forced. "Girl, you better chill," Bree said, flicking her long acrylic nails against her phone. "Sasha like that unless you want problems." Maya didn't blink. "I'm not asking twice." Lyle stepped forward, puffing his chest out. "Listen, new girl," he said, voice dripping with arrogance. "You don't come into our school acting all tough. You got lucky that was just a trip. You keep talking like that, and maybe you'll get a real." He didn't finish his sentence, because in that instant, the hallway exploded with motion. Maya moved. Fast. Too fast for anyone to process. One moment she was standing still, the next her body twisted sharply, her legs sweeping low and controlled. Lyle's feet left the ground as if yanked by invisible strings. His back slammed against the lockers with a metallic clang, and his phone skidded across the floor. Gasps rippled through the crowd. No one laughed now. Lyle groaned, clutching his ribs as he tried to sit up. Maya hadn't hit him hard, just enough to knock the wind out of him, to make a point. She looked down at him, her voice even softer than before. "That was a warning. Stay out of my way." Sasha's eyes widened. For a moment, she couldn't find her voice. This wasn't supposed to happen. She was the one who embarrassed people. She was the one who recorded their humiliation. Not the other way around. And yet here was this quiet, unassuming new girl who had just dropped her star athlete friend without breaking a sweat. "Yo, what the hell was that?" someone whispered. "Did you see that kick?" another said, holding up his phone, still recording. Phones were everywhere now, capturing every heartbeat, every flicker of fear in the bullies' faces. The hallway, once a playground for cruelty, had turned into an arena of justice. Sasha finally snapped out of her shock, fury bubbling in her chest. "You think you can hit my friend and walk away?" she shouted, her voice cracking. She lunged forward, grabbing Maya's shoulder, her nails digging into the fabric of the hoodie. "Who do you think you?" Again. Maya moved. Fluid. Controlled. She caught Sasha's wrist, twisted gently, and in one precise motion, turned her balance against her. Sasha gasped as her body folded, forced to her knees, her own arm pinned behind her back in a perfect lock. The sound of it was soft. Not violent, but absolute. "You need to calm down," Maya said quietly, her voice steady as stone. "I don't want to hurt you." The crowd was dead silent. Bree's phone shook in her hand, the camera still pointed at the scene but her expression frozen with disbelief. Sasha's knees scraped against the floor tiles as she struggled, but Maya didn't tighten the hold. She just held her there, firm but not cruel. It was a master's grip, the kind that showed dominance without rage. Finally, Maya let go. Sasha stumbled back, clutching her wrist, eyes wide with shock and humiliation. "You're crazy," she spat. Maya picked up her fallen backpack, slung it over her shoulder, and looked her straight in the eyes. "No," she said softly. "I'm trained." That sentence echoed through the hall like a shot. No one dared speak. Even the bullies' followers, the ones who usually laughed the loudest, just stared. Somewhere in the back, a teacher's voice started calling out, "What's going on here?" But no one answered. Every student knew they had just witnessed something they weren't supposed to see. A reversal of power so swift, so precise, it felt unreal. As Maya turned to walk away, she paused by Lyle, who was still sitting against the lockers, breathing heavily. She crouched slightly, her tone calm, almost kind. "Next time you think about tripping someone," she said, "ask yourself if you really know who they are." Then she stood, adjusted her hood, and walked down the hallway. The crowd parted like water. Bree whispered something, but her voice trembled. Sasha glared after Maya, her pride burning hotter than her wrist. "She's dead," Sasha hissed under her breath. "She doesn't know who she just messed with." But deep down, Sasha did know. And that terrified her. Because it wasn't just that Maya had fought back, it was how she'd done it. Controlled. Without anger. It was the kind of power that didn't come from ego. It came from mastery. And as Maya disappeared around the corner, the bully's laughter was gone. In its place was silence, the kind that follows a storm no one saw coming. By lunchtime, Eastwood High was buzzing like a disturbed hive. The fight, if it could even be called that, had already become legend. What started as a few gasps in the hallway had turned into hundreds of whispers, messages, and videos bouncing from phone to phone faster than wildfire. The clip was only 30 seconds long. Maya standing calmly in front of Sasha's group, Lyle charging forward, and then, in a blur, him flying backward into the lockers. A collective "oh" from the crowd, followed by the moment Sasha went down, pinned effortlessly by the new girl's hand. No punches. No shouting. Just precision. Power in silence. By noon, the video had hit over 20,000 views on TikTok, reposted with titles like, "New Girl Destroys Bully in 10 Seconds Flat," and "Don't Mess with Maya Trent Flushed Face Fire." Comments flooded in from students and strangers alike. "She's like a ninja. Bro, that's self-defense done right." Sasha finally met her match face with tears of joy. "This girl's definitely a black belt." Even teachers had heard. Some pretended they hadn't, afraid of being caught watching viral student drama during class hours. But the whispers didn't stop. The story morphed with every retelling. In one version, Maya broke Lyle's arm, she hadn't. In another, she flipped Sasha over her shoulder, she didn't. But the truth didn't matter anymore. Maya wasn't invisible now. She was infamous. In the cafeteria, conversations buzzed around every table. Kids huddled over phones, replaying the clip in awe. Even seniors, who normally didn't care about sophomore drama, leaned in to see. At the center of the room, Sasha sat with Bree and Lyle, their usual confidence replaced with cold silence. Lyle's jaw was tense, a faint red mark still visible near his collarbone where he'd hit the lockers. Bree kept glancing around nervously, while Sasha sat rigid, her spoon stirring her yogurt with mechanical precision. "She made us look stupid," Sasha hissed, finally breaking the silence. "Everyone's laughing at us." Bree tried to comfort her. "It's just a phase. People will forget next week." Sasha snapped her gaze up, eyes burning. "No, they won't. You don't come into my school, trip me in front of everyone, and walk away like nothing happened." Lyle slammed his tray down. "She didn't trip you, she tripped me," he muttered. "And for the record, that wasn't normal. No one moves like that." He looked down at his bruised arm. "I've seen fights. That girl's trained." Sasha leaned in closer, lowering her voice. "Then we find out what kind of training she has. No way she just gets to humiliate us and play the victim. I've got connections." "Connections." Bree frowned. Sasha smirked. "You'll see." Across the room, at a quiet corner table near the windows, Maya sat alone. Her lunch untouched. Her phone buzzed with notifications. Messages from classmates she didn't know, reporters from student blogs asking for interviews, random DMs praising her bravery. She ignored them all. None of this was what she wanted. She had transferred to Eastwood to get away from attention. From the whispers, from the competitions, from everything tied to her past. Her father had always warned her, the greatest victory is the one you walk away from. But now, she'd walked right into a storm. Her fingers brushed the small black bracelet on her wrist, the one engraved with her father's initials. It had been his before the accident. He had been her sensei, her teacher, her anchor. Every movement she had made that morning, every breath, had been his teaching guiding her body. And yet, here she was, feeling the weight of regret more than pride. Across the cafeteria, a group of kids pointed at her. One whispered something, then mimicked a karate stance. The others laughed. Maya sighed. Fame, she thought bitterly, is just another kind of spotlight. One that burns instead of warms. Her thoughts were interrupted by a sudden voice behind her. "Hey!" She turned. It was Ethan Cole, one of the few people in the school whose name carried as much weight as Sasha's. But for different reasons. Ethan wasn't a bully. He was respected. Captain of the debate team, honor student, the kind of guy teachers trusted and students listened to. He smiled, awkward but sincere.
That was something this morning.
Maya frowned slightly.
It wasn't supposed to be.
I know, Ethan said, sitting across from her.
But still, people are talking.
A lot. You might want to stay low for a while. Sasha's not the type to let things go. Maya looked down at her tray, silent. Ethan continued, his tone lowering. I've known Sasha since middle school. She's proud. Embarrass her in front of a crowd, and she'll make sure you pay for it, even if she has to cheat to win. I'm not looking for a fight, Maya said.
I know,
Ethan replied.
But she is.
Maya's gaze drifted across the cafeteria again, to where Sasha's group sat, heads close together, whispering. The look on Sasha's face was cold and calculating. Maya's instincts tingled, that same quiet alertness her father had drilled into her. Don't wait for danger to come to you. Sense it. See it before it arrives. And as she stood to leave, the truth settled heavy in her chest. This wasn't over. Not by a long shot. Outside the cafeteria windows, dark clouds were gathering, the kind that promised rain. But inside Eastwood High, a different kind of storm was brewing. One built not from thunder, but from revenge. The rain started that evening, slow and heavy, drumming against the classroom windows like a heartbeat that wouldn't stop. By the time the final bell rang, the skies had darkened, and the corridors of Eastwood High shimmered with puddles of reflected light. Students hurried to their buses, laughing and shouting, umbrellas bobbing like flowers in a storm. But in one shadowed corner near the gym, 3 figures stayed behind, faces lit only by the pale glow of phone screens. Sasha, Bree, Lyle. The humiliation from that morning still burned through them like acid. Every time Sasha opened her social media, there it was, her bent over, her wrist pinned, the caption mocking her power. Queen of Eastwood knocked off her throne crown right arrow martial arts uniform. Over 50,000 views now. Comments flooded in from students, strangers, even rival schools. Some laughed. Some cheered Maya on. But every heart emoji, every laughing face, felt like another slap. Sasha slammed her phone shut, her jaw tight. I can't go anywhere without people whispering, she hissed. Even the freshmen think I'm a joke now. Bree fidgeted with her nails. Maybe we should just let it die down, she said hesitantly. You know how this stuff works online. Next week someone else will mess up, and everyone will move on. Lyle snorted. You don't get it. She humiliated us.
Me. In front of the whole school.
His voice cracked with anger. You think I'm just gonna forget that? Sasha turned her gaze toward him.
Good. Because I'm not planning to.
She leaned forward, her voice dropping low. I talked to someone. My cousin Nate. He's not in school anymore. Works with a crew downtown. You know, the kind that handles problems. Lyle's eyes narrowed. What do you mean handles? Sasha smirked. I mean they know how to scare people. Send a message. No one's gonna touch her. Not really. Just a reminder that she doesn't belong here. Maybe a locker, accidentally, gets trashed. Maybe her stuff goes missing. Maybe she walks home one night and realizes she's not as tough as she thinks. Bree's eyes widened.
Sasha, that's going too far.
Too far. Sasha snapped. She embarrassed us in front of everyone. If we don't show we're still in control, we're done.
No one will ever respect us again.
The sound of rain outside grew louder, hammering against the glass. The fluorescent lights flickered. Lyle hesitated, then finally nodded. Fine. What's the plan? Sasha's smile was thin and cold. We wait until Friday. There's no security near the old gym after hours. She walks home that way, alone. We'll make sure she remembers who runs this place. Bree swallowed hard. And if she fights back again? She won't, Sasha said, her voice dripping with venom. Because this time, we won't give her the chance. The next 2 days crawled by with tension that everyone at Eastwood could feel, even if they didn't understand why. Maya noticed the looks, the whispers that weren't about her fame anymore, but about something darker. People avoided meeting her eyes. A few friendly faces from Monday now crossed the hall when they saw her coming. During gym class, she caught Lyle watching her from the bleachers, his expression unreadable. Bree looked pale, jittery, like she wanted to speak but couldn't. And Sasha?
She didn't even bother hiding her stare, a thin smile tugging at the corner of her lips whenever their eyes met.
Maya could sense it, the shift in energy, the silence before an ambush.